Cord only. It says record only. What does that mean?
Does that mean if we were like going to pre-record it and then send it out later?
Okay, so it's probably fine.
It's recording. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah. Okay. What's going on, everyone? Episode 46, after further review, coming at you. We are excited to be here and excited to keep it rolling almost on episode 50. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Hunkering in from the rain, hoping it was snow, but other than that, enjoying the sports world. How about you guys?
Oh yeah, I've been hunkered down. Got that winter season sickness going around too. So
COVID.
you already know, in the old home by myself tonight, not in Ben's basement. So missing out there, but we're chilling.
Nice. So tonight, a lot of stuff happened last week. National championship, actually Monday. So that was big game. We'll talk about that a little bit. NFL, big week, season recap, some wild coaching carousel moves, and then some big playoff matchups coming up, and then some rare hockey talk, and then just a little talk of the big behemoth in the sports industry that we will not name until we need to. So what's on tap for tonight, and we're going to get into the national championship game. Harbaugh, as he said, gets to be at the big kid table now with his brother and dad's national championship to Michigan. So that's exciting. You guys, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I watched the game, and I was hoping that Washington was going to be a little more competitive against Michigan. And overall, if you're a Michigan fan, you're probably happy they steamrolled, and now Jim Harbaugh probably has the flexibility to bounce if he wants to, and it seems like that's probably might happen, especially because the NCAA hasn't held down their suspension to him. So it'd be interesting to see what his next moves are now that he's a champion and finally got over that hurdle. And he choked a lot and in really bad fashion the last few years. So it's cool that he got to get that moment for himself. And it was cool that John was there to take it with him to, you know, experience him winning a championship now too. So, but overall, the game was a blowout. Michigan just was running the ball down Washington's throat. They couldn't really do a lot about it. And for Michael Penix, I think if he would have won that game last night, he would have been a top 5 pick in the draft this year. I still think he's going to be a first rounder, but if he would have beat Michigan in the national championship game, I think that would have been great for him. But Romo Dunze, top wide receiver prospect, got the ball out, put his name in there. So next to Marvin Harrison Jr., he's going to be one of the top names called and the top 5 next year. So interesting to see.
Do you think Harbaugh is leaving?
I think so. I think there's just too much uncertainty if he gets suspended again.
A lot of incentive too.
Yeah, and I think Michigan has like a replacement in house, so it's not that big of a change. And I don't know, it just seems likely. Like there's just too much that happened this year. There were so many different scandals and suspensions and self-imposed suspensions, and it's too much of a headache. And not for nothing, but there's a lot of nice jobs open right now. So
yeah, I was gonna say that they have a lot of options. That I mean, like teams that are decent, like you're not going into, crapshoots, like teams with some talent on them.
Yeah, I mean the Chargers gig would be pretty nice. I mean, especially for him, you're getting. I think the teams with already an established quarterback is a good place to be. Outside of Tennessee, I think is a little wobbly. Carolina, obviously, I don't think anyone wants to work with that owner.
No,
considering like he cans people really fast and he seems like a giant douche. So might as well just stay away from that. But yeah, I mean, he seems like he can really just pick where he wants to go and he can get the job. So that's a lot of freedom he's gonna have. So
yeah. I mean, he was at Michigan a while. I remember him back on the 49ers when they had the Harbaugh Super Bowl, right? Way back when.
yeah.
But I mean, just overall game wise, Chase, were you rooting for Michigan? Like, is that, I mean, obviously it's a win for the Big Ten in general, but normally, we hate Michigan. So I just didn't know if you were rooting for them. And also, is this like the epitome of the Pac-12? They get like one last hope to show out and be like, this is what you're going to miss, and then just completely, poop the bed and not even show up after they had a good game against Texas the week before. And
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been cool for the Pac-12 for them to go out, but no, I was definitely not rooting for Michigan. I don't care about the Big Ten, and I don't care about Michigan especially. I wanted them to lose 59 to nothing to Washington. I wanted Michael Penix to have just an insane game and all the hype to come with it. I think he's a nice quarterback. I don't know if how well it's going to translate to the NFL. I feel like accuracy can get like a little wild sometimes, but he's got a strong arm nonetheless and had nice weapons. But yeah, I really wanted Michigan to just fail, and especially on such a platform with Harbaugh possibly leaving. I was like, oh, there'd be nothing better than for him to lose this game somehow.
yeah,
Especially on like a coaching blunder or something that would have been magnificent. But yeah, I think for the Pac-12, you got to be happy for them. Michigan or Washington went pretty far. They were a really dominant team all year. They beat a lot of teams. Oregon had 2 cracks at them and couldn't do anything. So, they really did well. And just like for the Pac-12, I think at some point I'll have to do a little thing on them on the conference and how it just totally crumbled and
yeah.
everything that
Yeah,
came
we
from
should
it. But
talk about that and where every
yeah,
team's going and where they ended up from, like the top teams like Washington, USC, Oregon, all them from, but the bottom ones too. Like that'd be cool to do a segment on that, Chase, to fully break them down. And yeah,
just do it. But
Yeah, no, I agree. And kind of just talking, some of those guys and getting into the NFL. Season ended, got some teams that are now in position, one of which Bears have some decisions to make. First overall pick. And I'm going to ask you guys, what would you do? Would you keep Fields and move off that pick, or would you go for a quarterback in that spot?
you want to go first, Chase? You want me to?
yeah, I'll go. I would trade the pick because you already have another first round pick in the draft. So you might as well just get more assets. You could even probably get a player if you wanted to, since
Yeah.
your needs are so specific. And I feel like Fields probably warrants maybe one more year because he hasn't had great talent. The coaching situation, I think he needs like a little bit more. And if they went out and got Marvin Harrison Jr. or somebody in the top, a top weapon like that, I think you have to give him one more year, especially. And I think he has a 5th-year option left, so he still like is technically on the books if they wanted to just try it. And if he sucks, then you lose and you have a losing record next year, and you just get another quarterback. So I feel like it's a win-win for them.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I kind of agree that I think they should. If I think one more weapon in that offense, they could, be a pretty good offense at least. They need to address some stuff defensively too. But I think if they got Harrison, that'd be a big weapon for Fields.
Yeah. Beginning of the season, I would have said draft a QB. I don't know Fields' numbers, but I mean, they won a bunch of games down the stretch here. But to give you an actual answer, Ben, I think whichever choice they choose is going to be the wrong choice. I just think it's the Chicago Bears, and they're going to mess it up.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, they get 2 cracks at one of them being a star.
Yeah.
Whatever position they pick at, but they're probably still going to hold on to both picks in the first round. So I think as long as you hit one, you're solid. You definitely want an Eagles type draft, though, where you get 2 defensive standouts who are both starters now on your defense.
Yeah.
Right.
They need to be a starter.
The Texans last year, too.
Yeah, Texans, too. I mean, they went back to back, so it was a little exaggerated.
Yeah, it's nice when you have like the top.
Yeah. Well, and last year they won the last game of the year to not get the number 1 overall pick, and people were like couldn't believe they did that, and it really worked out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in retrospect, it's like if you looked at the measurables, you'd probably be like, yeah, CJ Stroud is probably gonna have a better career, but he just has more weapons.
Yeah, he's got more weapons, and I mean, Bryce Young is just constantly just fleeing for his life. He's got
Yeah.
no time to try and now they're just stuck because they don't have any great draft capital, and they're just they just need to sell the team. David Tepper's terrible, but everyone knows that.
From the beginning, the Frank Reich hire, we all knew was a
Yeah,
terrible.
we talked about how it was not a good hire.
Yeah. And I mean, they have a lot of things to change, and you're not going to lure a bunch of free agents to your team acting that way. So
Yeah,
he's really kind of put themselves in a pickle, and not having a first round pick with that young team is not good.
no. But looking at some other teams, so surprising winners, surprising losers this year. What are I know for me probably the biggest. I mean, I guess the biggest like surprise is the Browns with 4 different quarterbacks
Yeah.
just doing what they did and getting 11-6. If you had told me that they'd go through 4 quarterbacks and at the end of the season Flacco would be their quarterback and they go 11-6, I would have never believed you.
Yeah, wait, I can only think of 3 off the top of my head. Who are all 4 again?
The rookie.
DTR,
DTR, I remember Flacco.
Flacco, and PJ Walker.
Oh, that's right. I forgot PJ
Walker.
Walker had a stint too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What a pile of misfits at QB for the Browns. 11 wins.
So that'd be my like biggest surprise.
Yeah, I'd say the
kind of-
Browns and Texans are neck and neck for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I've
Texans
heard
too.
Texans is really good. The fact that besides the Jags completely choking, the Texans winning 10 games, division title,
Mhm.
home playoff game. For a first-year head coach, first-year QB, I mean, it's exciting if you're a Texans fan. That's definitely one of the biggest surprises for me. I mean, I love D'Amico Ryans. We thought that was a good hire, so
Yeah.
we should have done more bets with our coaching hires, yay or
There we
nay,
go.
because we hit on a bunch of those. But
yeah, and the Packers, I mean, getting in the playoffs this year, I know kind of sneaking in there, but that's still a win for them. I don't really anticipate them getting a win, but still, it's just a win to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I haven't heard a lot of people talking about Jordan Love, but I feel like it wasn't garbage. Like, I
No,
feel like it was a pretty like top 20 quarterback for the year.
yeah,
oh for sure, and especially with the way quarterback play was in general.
Yeah. And he had a bunch of young rookie receivers. It's not like he was coming in with like, a Devontae Adams or somebody. I mean, I think the most tenured receiver is like Dobbs and
Do they have Cobb again or no?
No.
Oh,
Christian Watson.
Yeah,
I think
Christian
those are like the
Watson's
2
good.
oldest receivers, and that's
and
not really
Watson
saying a
is
lot.
like his second year.
Yeah, so it's not like and even their tight ends aren't really old.
Yeah,
They're younger guys, so pretty
Yeah.
impressive, I would say. And I talked to a Packers fan who didn't want this to happen at all. They wanted the team to lose, get a good draft pick, but I understand that too.
I've seen a couple. Yeah, last night out, I saw someone wearing some Packers gear. Today at work, some guy was wearing a Packers hat. So they're slithering out of the woodworks a little bit. I hope they get stomped this weekend. But
Hey, to be fair, there's one guy in our neighborhood that every like Saturday night and Sunday morning puts out like a bunch of Commander stuff every week, and I'm just like, you know what? You're loyal to your team. I respect it.
yeah.
You're loyal to an actual garbage can.
Yeah.
While we're talking about winners here, I feel like we have to give some credit to the Tampa Bay Bucks, both Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, honestly, their whole team. We knew they had a good team. This is one of those situations like with the Brady Belichick era, Brady leaves, the Patriots suck, and everyone's like, oh, all the credit goes to Brady. It was all him kind of deal is how you can look at it. Well, Brady leaves the Bucks and they plug in tiny Baker Mayfield and they win the division. Not a great year, but Brady the last year or two, not great regular seasons either. And you have virtually a good chunk of the same team, and that's 3 straight NFC South titles for the Bucks, and I just want to give a shout to Mayfield, Todd Bowles, the whole team, because they dealt with injuries and stuff too this year. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they showed up, they helped out Bakes, and they get a home playoff game again. And not much of a difference between this year and Brady's last year. So I just have to give everyone in that organization some props, because you lose someone like Brady, you could easily fall apart like the Pats did, and they had Bill Belichick and a bunch of players stayed there. But
yeah, the Bucks, Baker Mayfield definitely turned some heads this year and kind of made people think about, former first overall pick, and he had a great bounce back year from kind of bouncing around last year. But definitely credit to Mike Evans. I mean, this is to open his career now 10 straight years of 1,000+ yards, which is just crazy. He's a free agent at the end of this year. So I don't know how much, he hasn't showed any signs of slowing down. Is that maybe something that, like, a team like the Bears looking to add weapons, get someone like that for Justin Fields, and that'd be a good veteran wide receiver for a younger quarterback. But yeah, definitely, like you said, the Bucks, great overall season for them.
Also, are we done talking about winners?
Sure.
Biggest loser, Tennessee Titans. I talk about him every week. Mike Vrabel on the coaching carousel. No, we'll get to it. He was one can. I like Vrabel. Don't understand what happened to them this year. You needed 11 wins to win that division. And the last game of the season, too, I watched Derrick Henry rush for over 150 yards. He looked still fresh, age 30. He got his touches and he did stuff with it. And
his going away game.
I know. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, yes, sir. I'll take him. I'll gobble him right up. Come on. But no, the most disappointing year for them. They had a similar situation. They had some quarterback carousel play throughout the year like the Browns did. And I don't know. I thought Vrabel was better than that. I thought they could have put Henry in better position. Their offensive line sucked. Probably a big part of why they went 6-11. But by far my biggest loss, last place in the AFC South. And I don't know where they're going after this, but no longer going to ever jump on the Titans train again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think I have a big loser from this year.
I'm going to put the Jets as a loser, not necessarily their full body of work, but just the expectations going into the year. Just, literal like Super Bowl type expectations with the team around Rodgers, and for the way it just happened is just such a typical thing for the Jets. But I think overall, just the drama with the quarterback each week and not having a competent backup like we've seen some teams overcome this year just kind of hurts. So just another year with no playoffs for the Jets. 12 years now. So 12 years. So yeah, that's rough, especially with just an expanded playoffs. Like I don't know what the longest in the NFL is right now, but Jets have to be up there.
Yeah, you should get Stack Guy on there right now. Check that out. I would like to see.
I was going to say my biggest loser is definitely the Broncos. This was I forgot about this, but yeah, Sean Payton blasted Nathaniel Hackett in the offseason for being a bum coach, and then he went under 500, so he's a bum coach. So they can both suck each other's nuts this offseason having a busy season with the Broncos.
Well, he did Wilson dirty. Wilson, like, stat-wise, is probably top 10 as far as stats in the league. Like, I don't.
Yeah, they were still in the hunt when they benched him too. I don't know what all that.
He's clearly just trying to get a quarterback in the draft and just develop him on his own, I guess. I don't know.
That organization is they right
Elway
now. The NFL, they might be the worst.
Elway was a great player.
Oh, sorry. They haven't had a winning record since 2016 either.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Elway was a great player, but he's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good. They need some help.
But
so
yeah,
longest playoff droughts, the Broncos is number 2 with 8 years, and number 1 is the Jets at 13 years.
and it sucks now too because the Pats have been sucking. Like it's like the Pats started sucking, but the Bills and the Dolphins both just got top notch. And come on, you got to find some room. The Jets got to get in there. They got to find if Rodgers comes back, they got to find at least a wild card spot
It's
next year.
crazy. The Redskins all time, the St. Louis Cardinals were 25 years, 1949 to 1974, and then the Redskins 1946 to 1971, 25-year drought.
Is
Dang.
it you said St. Louis Cardinals,
Yeah,
like the baseball team?
I think they were the Cardinals.
Oh, they were.
But more recently, it was the Browns at 17 till 2020, and then the Bills at 17 till 2017. So
Okay,
hopefully
so
the
For the
Jets-
best 17 years of my life when the Browns didn't make it.
so hopefully the Jets break that soon.
yeah.
Yeah, they deserve to. They deserve to somehow back into at least one playoff
I just
game.
want a wild card game. That's all I want. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not too much to ask.
Yeah,
Ryan
at least the Knicks can do that every year.
bouncing from one top team to another top team.
Wait, what?
I said you're just bouncing from one top team to another top team.
Hey,
You had
listen.
the number 1 seed last year, and then you get the number 1 seed this year on a new team.
No number 2, Ben. We're the 2 seed.
I forgot.
And I've never made a jump before, and this was not merely a bandwagon jump.
No,
And
I'm not saying that.
No. But yeah, I know it's definitely very good. It's a good situation for me to be in. And yeah, I mean, talk about the Cowboys winning the NFC East. The division still hasn't had a repeat since the Eagles in like the early to mid 2000s, which is still just ridiculous. I mean, at this point, it's the Eagles and Cowboys going back and forth. But
Yeah.
I'm super pumped with the way the Cowboys finished this season. They kept the starters in the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter of this past weekend's game too long. I just kept thinking of that Bradley Chubb injury that happened last week. And I'm like, please take these guys out. There's no point. I don't care if you're trying to run the ball or, this, that, or the other thing. Get them out, get them rested for next week. And honestly, I wanted the Packers. I don't want to come on here and give a 5-minute spiel on why the Packers is the best matchup for the Cowboys because it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But Packers are used to playing up north in the cold, and I still don't think Matt LaFleur is that great of a coach. So I'm excited for this matchup. Seems a little bit of NFL scripty to have McCarthy versus the Packers, and that last time they played was the Dez catch, I think, and then the Lions get the Rams and Jared Goff and Matt Stafford going at it. So I don't know if it's a little NFL scripty or not, but
Browns, Texans.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about that one.
I mean, Watson's not playing, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, also the Browns are favored in that game.
Dang.
It's in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Huh. That's surprising.
The Browns are 2.5-point favorites.
Huh.
I like Joe Flacco, but no way.
They're banking on some playoff Flacco, aren't they?
I mean, I guess.
Jeez.
I feel like that's a lofty expectation.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the brackets, and Ben, I don't know if you have our brackets or not.
I have ours, yeah.
We can touch on them too, but we talk about the parity, and that's what the NFL wants. They added a team. I mean, there's more athletes than ever before, right? Playing the game at a high level. So just a quick glance, the AFC that 3-6, the Chiefs having to host Miami.
And Tyreek Hill.
That could be a first round exit for the Chiefs, and they're the modern day Pats. But I could easily see
Tua ain't getting the job done. He disappears in these situations.
Yeah, but Ben, Tyreek Hill returned to Arrowhead.
Oh, there's the other. Oh, there you go. I didn't even think about that one. Oh,
I can
I
see
just
it
feel like
happening.
Tua just doesn't show up in like I feel like against the Bills, he just kind of disappeared.
Oh yeah, he didn't show up to Baltimore either.
Yeah, I never really liked Tua in general. I mean, he had so many concussions. Who knows his vision? Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he
true.
might be a robot at this point.
He could
He
be.
might be like Joe Biden dead, and they just
Yep.
wheel him out.
Yep. Exactly. But Ryan, you did have the Chiefs in the 3 spot, so you got that right.
Oh, give me the green, baby.
Yeah, and you had an AFC. You had the right division against the Chiefs. Just had the Jets. So
Oh,
Oof.
yeah, almost.
Yeah. No, I honestly, my bracket probably doesn't look that good, but the Jags lost this weekend, so you guys realize we went 0-7 in our AFC parlay for the over-unders.
Oh gosh. Only room to improve next year.
yeah.
No.
We have to improve next year.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
also
but as bad as your bracket looks from that point of view, there's still like the championship. All of our championships are still possible. So that's except mine, but everyone else's is.
okay. That's why Chase has the rematch: Chiefs, Eagles. I
Yeah.
have Bills, Cowboys,
and I had Ravens, Saints. So
okay. Hey, Saints almost snuck in there, man. Dude.
yeah.
2
Yeah, they
tiebreaks
did their
tonight.
part.
I'm still high on the Rams. I think the Rams could get the job done against the Lions.
Yep. Oh
I
yeah.
think they can get that win.
Yeah, and they can make a run easily. Probably the most scariest wild card team.
Oh, there's another one. Stafford traded for Goff.
Dad, I already said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. Basically every matchup. I mean,
Yeah. Classic.
Also, I've done a great job at changing. By the way, you're talking about me team flipping this year. I think this just proves how much I'm not as passionate about the NFL because, like, low key, I want Bakes and the Bucks to beat the Eagles. Low key. I did not want it when Tom Brady was there, but now I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the Bucks winning without Brady would just be it'd be like the opposite of what happened with the Pats, and kind of riding with them right now. Plus, the Eagles have completely choked.
Yeah.
I don't think they finished with the same. Them and the Jags both finished like 1-5, 1-6. Obviously, the Jags is worse because they missed the playoffs, but the Eagles have completely. I've never seen a 10-1 team look like that and they haven't even had significant injuries.
I don't know what you think, Chase. I think the loss of all their coordinators are really started affecting them later in the season.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side.
Yeah. Yeah, the defense, and they've just been wobbly. Something seems not right with the team. So, I don't know. I know people are pointing at A.J. Brown being a diva, and that could be, but I don't see how one guy could have the whole – because you could say that about the Bills and Stephon Diggs, and he doesn't seem to have captured their locker room to the point where they're so wobbly. I mean, I think that game against the Bills, the Eagles game against the Bills, just really was like physically one that just kind of ruined their last half of the season. I mean, it was a duel. It was bad weather. It went into overtime. Like, I think that just a lot of wear on guys, and especially how close it was.
Yeah.
Probably just put them like a little on the edge, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're definitely on shaky ground, and like you're saying, Ryan, a team like the Bucks, they're playing with house money. They squeaked in, got into the playoffs, and now they have a chance to like dethrone a team that just can't get things rolling.
Yep. Yeah, and I also I'm just gonna come out and say I think Nick Sirianni's kind of garbage as a coach. Like at first they're winning a lot of games and he fits the Philly atmosphere and he does what the fans want him to do, but when things get tough, he seems like he's just crumbling up and just not coming up with anything. No type of I mean, I grew up with Andy Reid as an Eagles fan and like one of the greats at being able to adjust throughout games, and I just don't think Nick Sirianni have those capabilities. I mean, even with Jalen Hurts as your QB, but yeah, we'll see. I think any team has a chance to lose this weekend. I'm really excited for the Cowboys matchup, and I really hope they can get this dub. But Jason, you get the rest, so enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll be taking on all the other action this weekend and rooting for the teams I despise to lose and the teams I want to do some damage to win. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and just before we move on from the NFL real quick, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. I'm sure you guys saw Arthur Smith, Saints game at the end. Kind of salty. Saints kind of go up in victory formation and then give Williams the teeter while the game was 41-17, and they went in victory formation and got the touchdown. Arthur Smith was hot. I don't know if you guys saw it or if you guys think it was like out of line. I mean, Arthur Smith probably knew he was about to get fired anyway, so that probably also made him more hot. But
why did they do that? I didn't even see that.
Jameis basically just like said we just decided as a team, and the coach basically threw him under the bus, which I also don't like. But
yeah, because Jamal Williams didn't have a touchdown all year.
I thought it was going to be one of those like bonus pays or something.
Well, that's what I don't like. I hate when the coaches like in baseball when like they hit a grand slam up like 10-4. It's like then play better. Just like throw a better pitch or I don't know.
I know. It was like, well, then stop them. Like make a goal line stand. It's not impossible.
Right. Like you don't know what
like gas.
Yeah, you don't know what like incentives these guys have. Like some of those incentives are pretty worthwhile, and so why not?
Yeah, that's intense. They were in victory formation though. Like they were coming to take a knee. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I get it's sports. It's a combination of sportsmanship and play better. But I don't know. What were the Falcons? I guess they were technically playing to get in still. They were still alive going into the game, but
yeah, they were. But
there were plenty of games and teams that, I mean, the Titans had no chance to win, and they were trying to win the whole game. So, I mean, the Saints, it gets to a point where, like you said, it's the end of the season. You don't know if you're going to make the playoffs.
I'll show you the clip at some point, Ryan. He just like the game ended basically. He just like went up. He like ran out to the middle of the field to the other coach, just like screaming.
Pull it up. Pull it up right now. I want to see.
Yeah, he was going off.
Share your screen.
Absolutely screaming at the other coach.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty
funny.
Funny.
Arthur Smith will be fine. He'll get a job. His dad owns FedEx, so he's fine. He's probably the most fine person ever.
Okay. Well, I don't feel bad for him.
No, I've never felt bad for that guy. I feel like you're fine.
Yeah.
I feel like just being an NFL coach was just like a fun gig that he just excelled at.
I don't know. He kept flipping back and forth between Ritter and Heineke. I don't know if he was making the right calls.
I just think he never used Bijan enough.
Okay, we had a good old-fashioned coach argument. We don't get these too much anymore, but they're
hell.
All right. So I'm just showing you. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, it's a little small, but I can see it.
All right, I can make it. Well, I can't switch out of this portrait mode while we're live.
All right, you're good. I can see it. I can see it enough.
So this was the play. So they're going to go. All right. Hold on. Okay. So they're in victory formation. And then at some point, they're going to go.
Oh, I see.
And then you can see at the end.
Oh my God.
He's like,
looks so mad his mustache fell off.
He's like so pissed. So he just.
Oh, he didn't even congratulate the other coach?
No. So.
Yeah, the other coach was just like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't know what you guys thought of that. I mean, whoever coaches next will maybe use Bijan more than he did, but
It's like, remember when Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz had that like weird thing?
Jim
No.
Schwartz, I haven't heard of him in a minute.
It was when he was coach of the Lions and he was mad at Jim Harbaugh for something, and like I forget what it was. It was like their handshake, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
It was literally like watching like two fifth graders like try to get in a fight.
Oh my gosh. Well, from coaches flying into the middle of the field and getting kind of crazy, let's go on to some hockey and talk some Flyers. So we don't usually talk hockey. Chase, there's a Flyer thing or two maybe you wanted to touch on. Maybe inform the viewers who are casual hockey fans like Ryan and I, and gives us a little information too.
Yeah. So the Flyers this year playing actually pretty well. 20, 14, and 6 on the year. And overall in the conference that puts them 4th right now in the Eastern. So
wow.
Not too bad. They're playing pretty well above expectations. Kind of pisses me off if you're gonna ask me, nondescript, but I think it's just kind of a waste. But whatever. They're competitive, and that's the biggest thing. And a lot of their young players are really coming on. And one of those young players that you're hoping to expect to contribute, especially at the end of the year after he finishes his season at college, is Cutter Gauthier. And last night, out of nowhere, unexpectedly almost, he get the news that he's been dealt to Anaheim for Jamie Drysdale and a 2025 second-round pick. And initially, I'm shocked. Like, this is a big thing for me. Cutter Gauthier is maybe a year and a half into being a pro. He just got drafted with the Flyers not too long ago. And doing a little more digging today, it comes out that Danny Briere, the Flyers GM, had a press conference last night, and he went into depth about why they ended up dealing Cutter. And it stems off the fact that at some point earlier this year, he decided to go black with the organization and just not respond to them at all, and just decided he didn't want to play for the Flyers anymore. And wouldn't contact them, wouldn't reach out, and just kind of made it known that he didn't want to be a Flyer, and he hasn't even played for them. He's been at Boston College this entire time since they picked him a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point. So really just no context out of nowhere. The Flyers haven't admitted to anything on their end, but recently he just competed in the World Juniors. The Team USA won in Sweden. It was a big ordeal, especially at the World Hockey level for Team USA to win. And Cutter went off in that tournament. Was a player who won a lot of awards during this tournament, so his stock was never going to be higher. And off the heels of that, the Flyers flew to Sweden to meet with him, and his family and himself refused to even talk to the Flyers. So they went all out of their way to do multiple things, and he decided he doesn't want to. And in return, the Flyers get a right shot defenseman, which in hockey is it's like a unicorn level thing. It doesn't really happen a whole lot to have somebody who's a great skater who can still be offensive. And he was a top 5 or a top 7 pick in the 2020 NHL draft. So the Flyers got back somebody who's going to start for them immediately versus Cutter Gauthier, who is still in college. And right now he's a second line center behind Will Smith, who was a top pick this past year. And
Will
Smith. Yeah,
Will Smith.
Yeah, of course, there's another Will Smith, and pretty good. He's so good that he's starting over Cutter Gauthier. And during the press conference last night, Danny Briere kept referring to him as just the left winger. So it kind of shows you what they felt for him. Maybe he was a little mad about that he wasn't going to get the time. And there's a lot of wild conspiracies about why he wanted to leave, whether it was the coaching staff, Kevin Hayes, a former player, if he had anything to do with this, because he kind of threw a bunch of bombs on his way out of the Flyers last year. And, Cutter had a kind of a close ties with him. So interesting news from the Flyers. They really haven't done anything. They've been flying under the radar and doing well, so to speak. A lot of the young guys, and just out of nowhere, this comes up. So we'll see. Jamie Drysdale probably is going to play at least tomorrow or, in this week. So get up close action. He missed a lot of games last year with a big injury, but he's back. So interesting to see the Flyers, especially for their development. Now that they have a young piece, a defenseman, it was a need for them going into this year, and they filled it. So now it kind of speeds up their processes. And like we touched on, Matvey Michkov eventually coming over. So just another piece long-term wise for the Flyers to have to build on, and somebody that they covet and somebody that wants to play here, moreover. So
how's the rookie you were excited about that you guys just picked doing this year?
I haven't heard any updates, but he was doing well. His team wasn't playing him, so he got loaned to another team.
Oh my gosh, that stuff's so confusing to me.
Yeah, it's annoying, and something was happening with the team that he was originally playing for. But at that point too, he was playing a bunch of different positions on the ice. He was playing wing and center, which is good to see. So if he has that versatility and he can play both competently and still be a center overall, that's obviously a win for the Flyers. So hopefully, I haven't heard anything if he can come over sooner, but it still projects to be like 2 years away at this point. But definitely exciting, and on the front of them playing well, it's good up front to have young guys win and do it the right way. So I feel like even if they bottom out at some point later this season or even next week, at least they're getting that experience and still getting a good draft pick overall.
Yeah. I mean, we're 40 games in, halfway through the season, and right now they're the first wild card team. I think that's the equivalent of the 7th seed out of the top 8 teams to make the playoffs for hockey. And I mean, they're playing competitively. I know they just lost to the Penguins the other night, but Konecny, I feel like he's going to be an all-star, right, Chase?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm sure the Flyers have had all-stars here and there, but they're kind of like the Jets where they haven't really been playoff type relevant in a decade, right? So it's just cool to see right now. And I agree. I like the move. I don't follow the Flyers as close as you did, but I did look into it a bit. I like the move. It's not like they're still trying to win now, but it helps them, play competitive still. And whether they win or lose the rest of the season, I finally think we're on our way up. I think.
Yeah.
On our way up. So.
And the biggest key is having 2 competent goalkeepers. Obviously, Carter Hart's your franchise, but Samuel Ersson has played extremely well, and especially for a backup goalie to have 2 people do it. I mean, the Flyers haven't had a real legitimate goalie stability in almost 40 years. So the fact that they finally got somebody who's young, you can build around, and he'll be here, other than just patchworking with like a Brizgalov or Steve Mason or name it, the people they've just shuffled in and out just to keep somebody back there, and none of it's worked. It was super expensive, and now they have 2 legit goalies who can be, top 15 both tandem, which is pretty insane. So it gives you trade flexibility, and it gives you right now just legitimate talent in the goalies. So it's nice to add a defender too, because with Carter Hart, that should be a priority, is just having him get help in front, because he's a really good goaltender. He's young, but he can't do it all himself.
Yeah.
And that goes for any sport. If you get a young quarterback, you better have an offensive line. Like if you invest in like the player who's going to help you, you better have people around him.
Yeah, I like it.
Especially in hockey.
And one thing I wanted to ask you, Chase, I saw that the Maple Leafs offered their biggest contract ever to William Nylander.
Yeah.
And it was an 8-year, $92 million contract. And I was just thinking how different the money is.
Yeah.
NHL compared to like that's like such a rich contract in the NHL. And that would be like I don't know. I'm just trying. That would be like
That's like an NBA
Marcus
money.
Stroman type contract in the MLB, or like something like that, or like
a 4 or 5
pitcher. Yeah,
it's like back end stuff. It's like an NBA 6-man, like you're saying, a number 4 or 5 pitcher. Like,
just crazy. I was like, dang. I mean, I know obviously it's not as popular as, and the money isn't there the same, but just. And Toronto, he's going to get taxed on like 60% of that. No doubt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. And especially because I feel like those guys are really talented too. So I'm surprised the money hasn't.
That's probably why they played for so long.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like, most guys are making like 5 million average.
Jeez.
Like a really good player, like 5 to 12.
Yeah, and that's still a lot. Just like compared to other sports, just.
But in basketball, you could be making 12 million and play 10 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA, I mean, hockey. What do you have? Like 3 to 4 lines. Like what are roster size? Because that's obviously the NFL and baseball are popular, and so is the NBA. And the NBA has the luxury of small rosters. But I feel like hockey, being probably the fourth most popular sport in the United States right now. And I don't know. I just feel like the roster sizes are bigger.
I mean, just pickleball's hot.
Just think if baseball or the NBA was as popular as hockey, like with the regular seasons being long, like there would just be a lot less interest just with gameplay and stuff. And what is a roster size, Chase, for the NHL? Is it like 30 guys?
Yeah, I think it's like 20.
Similar to baseball, like similar to a baseball.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, it's less than 30.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I get that basketball's smaller, but like, why do they make so much?
Yeah,
like they make like the price of like 2 people, and it's like
the last few
good. I mean, it's like a hard sport, but it's not like. Literally, bench guys are making so much money, and I don't understand. Like, you bring so little value.
And hopefully the NHL has like a really good dental plan for all their players because most of those guys need it.
I don't think they care, honestly. I think they would give it to them, and they'd be like, take it off.
Yeah. But, all right, well, good talk with NHL. Informative, Chase, and because I always learn a lot when you talk about it because I don't follow it nearly as much as the other sports. So I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of our
Chase, I do. I like it too.
Thank you.
So, just a couple current events I'm going to talk about real quick here.
Oh, let's get it. I forget what's the name of this segment, yo. I forget the name of
I don't know. It's just going to be some current events. It was a segment once upon a time. It's probably in our segment section on our doc. But so first off, I just want to talk about Fanatics real quick, and that was the name of kind of like Voldemort, name you don't mention. But so quickly, it's on the sports card side. For those that don't know, they're basically the new norm in the sports card space. But one of the things they did is they did this taco fractor, is what it was called, in Topps Chrome. And I don't know if we talked about it previously, but it was for the World Series. So it's been a little while and I haven't really spoken on it at all. But basically what they did is a taco fractor. They're basically numbered to 5 and they had one for a bunch of players. And the promotion was, they didn't announce it right away, that something in the World Series for one of the players, you would get a prize. And they didn't say what it was. But basically it became the first player to get a stolen base if you had that taco fractor of that guy. And again, there's only 5 of them out there. Then you win a $15,000 Taco Bell gift card. So it was, first of all, people were like on eBay, like people were paying like $10,000 for like the Corbin Carroll taco fractor without knowing what the prize was. And then to find out it was just $15,000 gift card to Taco Bell, which I don't know if that was the prize, that does not excite me that much. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but holy crap. So that was the prize, and like people were kind of disappointed, especially because they took so long to announce it. So it was Ketel Marte, so anyone who had that card. But the other thing that's happening is that they're basically in a fight with Panini, the other card company, with the licenses, and so now they're just signing athletes exclusively because they're still trying to get the licenses for like right now they only have the MLB license, so they're still trying to get the NBA and the NFL license. So they're signing guys exclusively to their brand. So Fanatics has like CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, but they don't have the NFL license. So basically there are no licensed like autograph cards of those guys because Topps can't make them and now Panini can't make them. So it's basically like mom and dad fighting, and no one gets like a rookie card of who they want, essentially. And now it's like going on for the next class. So like Topps exclusively signed like Drake May, and Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. So now there's going to be no like, and it's just the whole thing is just basically only hurting consumers, and it's such a stupid like thing that they're doing on top of a lot of other stupid things that they're doing. But yeah, I'm not a fan of. They're basically like a monopoly coming into the sports card industry, and they're all about making money, and they're all about their breaks, and they have all their gambling stuff going on. So they're like turning a lot of cards into gambling, and that's what they're doing, and it's disgusting. That's my rant. I'm done with them. Anyway.
Yeah, I second that. Fanatics is a gross company. For somebody that holds all the sports stuff, apparel wise, and never stock it, you suck. Why do you even advertise that you sell it? Because you don't. And you don't have any good answers, so I don't understand like what you do with all the merchandise that you allegedly sell. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Fanatics. Michael Ribbon, you suck. I used to like you. You were cool. You owned part of the Sixers, but since you sold the Sixers, you've turned into a total jackass. Your company sucks. You ruin things for everyone on multiple fronts.
I just feel like they're doing too much.
Yeah, how about just like actually do good business and not just get a bunch of stuff and then not do anything about it?
They're growing. What they're trying to do, they're going to grow. They're growing more than they can handle, is like what it seems. And they're just trying to, in the card industry, it's like, I don't know. It's going to be there no matter what you do to it. So don't ruin it. Like, you can add certain things if you want to add them. I know, Ben, there's a bunch of things that you like that's been coming out of Tops through Fanatics, but like, just don't ruin it.
Yeah, and they have so many like sports cards. They have so many products like that release each week. I don't know the money as far as like how much it costs to make, but like they are just, they are making so much money. It is insane. I don't know how much. They've done some cool things too. Like they did this whole thing where if anyone pulled like this Victor Wembanyama card, they flew him out to like Texas to meet him, and stuff like that's cool, I guess, because they have more of that player relation. But they're like printing these things to ridiculous amounts, and there's like hobby boxes. People they're like charging like $2,000 for these boxes and making like, they're rolling in money off this stuff. That's why I like collecting like early 2000 stuff, because it's not as printed to the moon. But anyway, the end of that Fanatics garbage pail. But in other news, we had a big fight announcement this past week. Chase, I sent it to you earlier in the week, but big fight announcement: Anthony Joshua fighting Ngannou.
Yeah, that's a big one, and it basically cements the fact that Francis Ngannou is a top legit heavyweight contender going against somebody who was a former champion himself. So big for Ngannou. I'm really impressed. I think this kind of pushes back even further his MMA career, and I don't even know if it's going to happen anymore at this point. He's already 39, right? So
yeah, I thought he had a fight with the PFL, but I can't imagine him fighting before March, like before the beginning of March. At this point, I can't imagine that's going to happen.
yeah, and just the more, and whatever. He went to the UFC. He made a name for himself. He won the belt, and if he never wants to fight MMA again, then whatever. He went out on top, and I can't really take that away from him, and I can't be mad at it. I'd like to see it more, but getting to see him still do something and doing something that he's legitimately passionate about is probably something that I should also be excited for too. So, and it's against quality opponents and not like it's not like a Jake Paul thing where he's just fighting old guys, hack guys, guys you never heard of, and it's like, okay, great, this is a waste of 20 minutes of my life. Like Ngannou brings it. He showed a lot of promise. His last fight showed a lot of things I never knew he could do. So, and he's that type of fighter. Even in MMA, he would do that. And I'm really looking forward to this fight, seeing what he's able to do against Anthony Joshua. It's a perfect opponent for him.
Yeah, that was a great fight, and I think it'll be really entertaining now that people in the boxing community will take him seriously too, especially after what he did against Fury. So
Yeah.
And then last current event here. So Montez Sweat is the first player in NFL history to lead 2 different teams in sacks during the same season.
The same season?
So he led the Bears and the Commanders in sacks with 6 and 6.5. 6 for actually I don't know which team he had 6 and 6.5, but he led the Bears and Commanders in sacks this year.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. That's an insane stat. I mean, 6 isn't a lot, but that's wow. What
Just
the heck?
shows you
I thought you were gonna
those teams.
I thought you were going to just say the same 2 different teams.
I mean, to have 12.5 on the year is pretty good, though.
Yeah.
It's not bad. By the
No,
way,
I mean he was consistent.
speaking of double-digit sacks, Jadeveon Clowney never been double-digit sacks in his career.
That's insane.
Wow.
So the fact that
insane.
Montez Sweat had 6 and 6 on 2 different teams, pretty impressive.
Yeah, I guess Clowney just
He tops out at 9.
That's
And he played those years in the Texans with J.J. Watt, who got probably a ton of attention.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
He's had plenty of chance. He played in Cleveland with Myles Garrett, had chances. Like he's definitely had good running mates, but never got over the double-digit hump.
Wow. That was, by the way, I was watching that Jadeveon Clowney play the other day from when he was on LSU, right?
Oh, when he was in South Carolina.
South Carolina,
against Michigan.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said LSU. Yeah, when he was on South Carolina, and I didn't realize the play before it was like this controversial first down where they like marked the ball short and the ref still gave him the first, and the very next play he literally just blows. I forget who even blows up. I just remember being like number 1 on SportsCenter for however many weeks in a row. That play was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of sacks, Khalil Mack, I just say finished with 17, got up to 101.5. So his all-time at 32, his all-time best year as far as sacks are concerned.
Did that just solidify himself as a Hall of Famer?
I would think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's probably like a 5 to 6 time Pro Bowler. He's been a Defensive Player of the Year.
He got over 100.
Yeah. And he said he's not retired. Like he said, he's still playing next year. So I would think he's going to be in. I don't know what the threshold is, but I feel like once you get over 100, you're semi-safe.
It's crazy. He's done it with 3 teams now too.
Yeah.
I feel that is crazy.
Like been that dominant.
Yeah. I mean, especially after I just brought up Clowney, like playing around the same time period. And he never had double digit.
Speaking of which, Ben, you quickly look up QB. Can you share QB?
Yeah, what happened with Sam Howell?
Yeah, what happened? I was watching this weekend. He only got sacked like 2 or 3 times, max.
Oh, he definitely didn't get it.
He definitely didn't get there. David Carr still reigns.
But we got a chance because he was going to get benched, and then Jacoby Brissett decided to pop a hamstring and then put Howell back in the starting lineup. So our hopes were totally dashed.
All right, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to look this up properly. This is Russell. This is last year.
Yeah, maybe they don't have the. You might just have to look up Sam Howell in general. I mean, you found it. Oh, how many? I can't.
65.
Oh, so close.
Bryce Young got sacked 62.
Oh,
he came in hot at the end.
Caught up.
It is a big gap between them 2 and then everyone else.
And then you just have 45 at Wilson. And dang.
Zach Wilson had 45 sacks, and he played
12 games
of the year.
Yep.
That's insane.
Tommy DeVito got sacked 37 times in 10 games. More than Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew.
Dang.
The same as Lamar.
Damn, Lamar, it's kind of not a good number, I want to say.
But, yeah, so he gave it a run, though. So good for him. Giving him good run. Good run there. So.
And he took all those hits for us. And for that, we love you, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
You put your
449.
body on the line. Maybe took a year or two off your career, but we love you for it.
What's the most all-time sack yards? Is there any way to? Oh, there's no way. Oh, I love the LeBron thing. All right. Well, all right. So yeah, Sam Howell gave it a good run. So I think on that note, that's about to be a wrap for episode 46. Episode 47 going to be next week. We're going to come out with some live stuff here soon, and coming up on episode 50, which will be a fun one also.
Yeah. Pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Super pumped about it. We're still finessing with StreamYard and just excited. 2 for 2 in 2023. The Cygnus didn't hold me back. Or 2024. Yo.
Yeah, no, we're still working out some kinks here, trying to make sure we get all the social media and all the reels, all that stuff working properly, but we'll get there. So
yeah, for sure. I like this view. Hopefully this works out for our Instagram post, but I do realize when you share the screen sometimes then it's not as full. Although I made my screen bigger, which actually helped. I didn't realize I could do that. So,
yeah, you can too.
So that was pretty sweet.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Episode 47. Jeez, that's not right. Episode 46. Episode 47 is next week. So, all right, we'll catch everyone later.
Peace.
Deuces.